Good afternoon, my name is Felipe. Welcome to my channel Tours in Brazil. I'd like to invite you to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget, start the notifications. Leave a like, share this video with your friends. Thank you very much. Be pleased to leave a commentary. Make your question. Let's start. Commercial jets. A lead had also been given, particularly by the United Kingdom, in other technical fields such as airworthiness requirements, approach lighting navigation aids, air traffic control techniques and automatic landing. Whereas Europe led in commercial aviation development, manufacturers in the United States benefited from the Europeans' mistakes and were able to introduce equipment that was much more successful commercially. Lufthansa, repaired in 1954, prior to World War II, it had been a prominent European carrier. JAL also appeared during the 1950s. The major international carriers we know today all used this decade to spread their routes through the world. For the first time in 1957, more passengers crossed the Atlantic by air than by sea. In 1950, 6% of the air passengers across the Atlantic flew on US airlines. By 1960, this would drop to 40%. A reason for this drop was the bilateral exchange of airline routes, discussed in a year cheaper. The Boeing 717, a jet, went into service in 1958, followed by the Douglas DC-8 and the smaller Boeing 720, and some lesser-known jets. The Soviet Union also introduced their own jets at about this time, although they were never used widely outside China and East Europe. Air freight became significant for both domestic and international airlines. Larger aircraft had more space than was needed to carry passengers, baggage and mail. One reason was that aircraft fuselages are circular, and as they increase in size, there is correspondingly more space below the passenger deck. Jet aircraft had more lifting capability than did propeller-driven aircraft, meaning that they could carry a denser mix of cargo. Air freight rates were relatively low, covering only out-of-pocket costs. The Mary S.R.A. report. In the early 1960s, Emory Air Freight commissioned and Stanford Research Institute to study how carriers might identify potential users of air freight. A summary of the report said, air shipments have virtually eliminated distance as a factor in obtaining many items from suppliers and providing products to customers. This had forced a reassessment of transportation policies. No longer is it enough for the traffic manager to seek out the transportation carrying the lowest rate. No longer is the purchase of low-cost transportation the sole criterion of good performance by the traffic department. So many benefits stem from air freight speed that transportation costs must be appraised in terms not only the lowest total cost, but also the total company being considered an integral part of company operation, an extension, as it were, of both ends of a production line, on the one hand for procurement, on the other for distribution. In these areas, it can be used to promote sales, open new markets, provide better utilization of plant and equipment, cut inventory costs, reduce warehousing requirements, accelerate return of capital investment, and enhance sales profits. The report was based on interviews with many users of air freight and then placed into categories, according to the user rationale for choosing the air cargo modes. Some of the rationales and examples of international movements were as follows: to speed delivery and purchasable commodities, to lend useful market life. Example was strawberries from California moving to Europe and baby chicks from Florida to Latin America. To speed delivery and production parties to prevent downtime. Hosiery 19 machines were purchased by a German company in Pennsylvania, and 230 were airlifted to Germany at a cost of 224 per unit, as opposed to an ocean freight transportation cost of 37.80 cents per unit. Delivery time was 10 days shorter by air, and this 10-day saving gave the German manufacturer time to produce 207,000 pairs of hosiery. Another example dealt with handling household goods of employees being transferred between countries. By not having to wait for these to arrive, the newly transferred individual and his family could become settled more quickly. To speed delivery on products or services seeking wider markets from a fixed facility. A US firm decided to buy European-built equipment after the manufacturer guaranteed that repair and replacement parts would be shipped by air. To speed delivery on mobile production units to cut transit time between jobs. A US manufacturer with operations in Canada used molds for making popular consumer items. After a production run in the United States, the molds would be shipped to Canada for a production run there. To speed delivery on products processed at widely scattered facilities or whose distribution points are distant from markets to reduce investment while in transit. The example given was of a pharmaceutical distributor in Mexico City who bought and charged the drugs he received from a part worth supplier. By using air freight, he had the commodities to sell for a longer period before he had to remit payments. I'll stop here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following the Booktube. Subscribe in the channel. Don't forget, start the notifications. Thank you very much. Until next time, see you.